Anji chimbuzo denyik mi hyang zongli molam chimbo ngabja da bakar tarngan sandu hirma do domba tukje chan la kyub hyang tsar. Good morning. First of all, I would like to say welcome to this teaching, all of you, and thank you very much for coming. I'm very happy to be able to talk to you the Heart Sutra. This teaching will be about Heart Sutra. What we call the secret dharma. Secret dharma is so extremely precious, and the Buddha gave this teaching. Many of you know already at Virtual Peak in the mountain near the Bodhgaya in India. This is the second turn of the wheel of Dharma, and the second turn of the wheel of Dharma is the teaching about actually focusing emptiness. The Heart Sutra is actually about emptiness, right? And also how we begin to move towards the liberation. So this teaching is made for students who have the potential to follow the Mahayana path, the great vehicle. And it's about emptiness. So the goal of the second wheel of Dharma, this teaching about Heart Sutra, is not just to pacify non-virtuous thought and action, but more importantly to pacify the concept of a self. So therefore, at this time, the Buddha taught about the two selflessness, the selflessness person and selflessness phenomena. So the Heart Sutra is most famous Buddhist scripture. If we don't know, when we recite the Heart Sutra, we don't know about the meaning, then it's kind of, everything's nothing, right? But if you study and learn this sutra, this is the famous Buddhist scripture. And in Tibet, the perfection of wisdom, sutras are important subjects of the study in the monastery and college, Monks usually study this sutra in detail for 5 to 7 years, It's a big subject, and they also, many countries, the commentaries, this on the sutra, I think there are at least 21 commentaries in India, the masters, and also the commentaries translated into Tibet, these commentaries from the Indian masters, and also we the commentaries on the Heart Sutra, Tibet itself. So there are so many commentaries. So the study of the perfection of wisdom, or the Heart Sutra, is emphasized all 4 schools of Tibet: Gelug, Karjat, Sarcha, Nyingma, because this is the emptiness, so important to understand. So the Heart Sutra is part of the perfection of wisdom, literature, which is the Mahayana teaching, the great vehicle. So this is very different than the teachings of the first trend of the world, which is the Four Noble Truths, right? About the suffering and the cause of suffering, all that. So it's a different. I mean, all that Four Noble Truths can include. You will see, include this Heart Sutra, but it's a different ideas. You know how we learn and how we meditate, and so this actually the second this teaching emphasize emptiness, and in the Mahayana school there are also teachings from the third training of the well of Dharma. There are three teachings, right? So which has two categories. The first interprets the perfection of wisdom sutra, and the other is about the idea of Buddha nature. So the Heart Sutra is the shortest of the major Buddhist sutra, 2 pages, right? And this is very popular in Tibet, in India, everywhere. So now you have to. I'm going to teach the Heart Sutra very briefly, line by line. We don't have much time, so we can't finish in detail teach on Heart Sutra. But just line by line, you should really focus on that. And another thing that in the Heart Sutra there are many important people mentioned, including the Shakyamuni Buddha, Avalokiteshvara, and what else? Shariputra, and also we call the mother of the Buddhas. So in this teaching, there is only one question is asked, which is how does one practice the perfection of wisdom, right? You will see that. And then Avalokiteshvara's answer is given at first in one sentence, and then it is sort of explained in detail. So the detail the Avalokiteshvara gives refers to all the sort of major categories of Buddhist philosophy. Now, here we call the Sanskrit term prajna paramata, right? Often translated as perfection of wisdom. So here the essence of the perfection of knowledge or wisdom. I would say wisdom is the better. So the essence of the perfection of wisdom. So in Sanskrit term prajna paramata. So jnana means wisdom, right? Jnana means wisdom or knowledge or understanding. Okay, and then para is the sort of vast, profound, intense fire. Therefore, parajana is a great wisdom. So you can understand the name of the Heart Sutra. I don't know why they say Heart Sutra, but actually in Tibet, Sherab Nyangbo, Nyangbo is essence. Sherab is wisdom. So essence of wisdom actually directly translate into English, the essence of wisdom. So because the Pranjana Sanskrit, which means great understanding or great knowledge, great wisdom. So when we say the wisdom, wisdom here means not only to the qualities of worldly sort of intelligence and knowledge that make us sort of adept and successful at the sort of dealing with our life's problems. But it also refers to non-dual, altruistic state of mind that is not limited in any way. So here the wisdom, you will hear many times, okay, in this teaching, wisdom. So wisdom, you need to understand that, not only, intelligent way to fix our problems. And that's in general wisdom. But the Hinayana, there are two paths, Mahayana and Hinayana. So Hinayana Buddhists believe that people, us, with wisdom are those who realize that the self, the persons are selfless, okay? And that phenomena are also the impermanent. They understand that, right? The Hinayana practitioners, they realize that the person, the self is selflessness, okay? And also all phenomena, also they really deeply understand all phenomena are, impermanent. And that nirvana is very peaceful, okay? Hinayanas. However, the best understanding of wisdom comes from Buddha or Bodhisattvas, who realize that person and also phenomena all selflessness, okay, selfless, and they understand emptiness because they understand emptiness completely. So that's why everything is selfless, everything is emptiness, okay? So you understand Paranjana, now Paranjana, so the great wisdom, okay? Because everything, according to Mahayana, according to Mahayana and the Buddhas, they understand everything emptiness. So that's why jhana, great wisdom. Para jhana, and then paramutta. The word paramutta is commonly translated as a perfection. Okay, but actually paramutta, Sanskrit, para means beyond, and mutta means that which has arrived, or that which goes, So paramutta then means that which has gone beyond. Okay, that which paramutta is goes beyond or gone beyond. So in Tibet, actually, the version is in Tibet is better. We call it parartha chimba, which means gone to the other side. Okay, so which means actually enlightenment. Gone beyond means sort of passing beyond being an object of the mind or ordinary consciousness, which is liberation. So therefore, it is helpful to understand the term translated as a perfection of wisdom, both as the wisdom possessed only by a Buddha at this time, which has gone beyond all sort of forms of samsara, and as the wisdom that goes beyond, which gets on the path to enlightenment. So it is the wisdom directly realizing emptiness that has gone, or it is going to the final state of Buddhahood. So that is Paranjana Paramutta. So the first word in the Sanskrit title of the Heart Sutra, we call it Heart Sutra, is here. It describes the perfection of wisdom. So the Heart Sutra is, usually Tibet's the philosophy. So it can be, a little bit difficult to understand. But if you can, just take notes or keep everything in your mind and think about it, sort of over again and again. This is actually when we study in Tibet, the teacher teach you maybe like 2 pages, right? And then you study that again and again. The most important is discussion is the most important. But in here, we don't have that sort of culture yet. I hope slowly we'll do that, because in here teacher talks, and then meditate, right? So that's all. I don't know how much you understand and learn, because in Tibet we teacher give us teaching, and then we discuss about the teachings. That's how we learn, right? Without discussion, it's very difficult and almost impossible to understand Buddhist philosophy and learn it. So when you have time, talk and discuss and share your wisdom each other. That's how we learn it. It's very important, Otherwise, if you say, okay, if I believe in Buddha Dharma, these teachings make sense, and so I just believe, that is kind of sufficient, and then it will not work. Believe is very important, very, very important. To believe in Buddha, believe in Dharma. Very important. Buddha Dharma, believe in Buddha Dharma is something else, that you have to believe it, actually. But that belief should never be sort of come from, somebody else telling you, oh, it's worth believing, So you have to always make sure that the belief is based upon reasoning and your research, and belief cannot be called belief until certainty, and that certainty it has to sort of develop through research, analysis, investigate, and question, until it sort of becomes really certainty. However, if the certainty arises, that certainty is also not so good until it is then manifesting in your attitude and your conduct, then this can be called believing in Buddhism. Understand? If it is not manifest in your attitude, your conduct, then this can be called sort of believing in Buddhism, sort of, no matter how much you say you love Buddhism or Buddha, or you believe in Buddhism to be sort of truth, it always sort of doubtful sort of points, it's always unsure, you just say I'm believe in, without sort of research, analyzing, question, discussion, without these things, then your belief is very uncertain, very unsure. And then that kind of, believing is not stable, If you have little circumstance, it's easily to change your mind without reason, without analyze. Just to believe is not so good. So therefore I say, when you learn or when you meditate, or when you teach, hear the teachings, everything, you have to, discuss, and until you get really the certainty, ni shi, it's very important, the certainty, and through, your wisdom and analyze and everything. That's how we learn it about Buddhism. Eventually, of course, whatever you meditate, you study, practice, belief is so important. Belief also we call the confidence, faith, or devotion also. Those are very important. It's really important for you and become a good meditator. But this believing is very also not just a belief, okay? So therefore I say, when you learning something or study something, very important to discuss. And sort of, the confident, So in order to have this confidence or certainty, that is the manifest in your attitude, you have to really sort of, put in the effort to reason, to analyze, to examine, and to, checking it in your mind, whether it is true or not, and to really sort of develop that belief into certainty. And in order to be able to do that, you have to research, you have to listen, right? You have to study, and you have to go through the whole this sort of process, otherwise your believing is, we call it blind, or without understanding. So you have to enter deeply into it in order to really understand, okay? So believing in Buddhism is very important, because through Dharma that we can remove our ignorance and misunderstanding, which causes all these problems, right? In this way we begin to understand the significance and necessity of Dharma in our life. So that's why very important to believe, but that belief is not just blind, You have to really understand. So now, the Heart Sutra, the perfection of wisdom, will start now. And this can be understood in terms of 5 topics, okay? The first time. The perfect time, we call it the perfect time, because it was while the Buddha was alive, physically, and he, taught this sutra. That's why we call it the perfect time. And then also, of course, perfect teacher, because the Buddha, who, understand completely and diminished completely all defilements and negative emotions. So that's why who is completely sort of enlightened person. So that's why perfect teacher. And then perfect location, which was the virtual peak at Rajagriha in India. It's a very beautiful place. Perfect location, which means around there lots of these meditations and Dharma activities, all in this location. So therefore, perfect location. And then perfect audience, the student, which, the community of monks and bodhisattvas. And then perfect view is called the elimination of profound, right? Or the nature of phenomena, or the emptiness. So this is the perfect view. So these are the 5 topics, but I will explain more. So I'm not going to teach this again in detail, because we can't finish, 1.5 day, we can't finish. But, as much as I can. And if you have any question, just let me know, raise your hand any time, and we should talk about it. So now the first we said, thus have I heard at one time, right? You should be careful, okay? Keep in your mind. Otherwise, if you follow and you come to Bodhicitta Sangha, we always recite the Heart Sutra before teaching. The other Sangha, they don't, but I do, because my teachers, they also do that. And also, this is so important, because this is actually, if you understand, this is the all Buddha's teachings include these 2 pages. So that's why I think even though people sometimes who are very new, not Buddhist, they don't like, I know that, they don't like to recite this, it doesn't make sense, but I don't care, we just recite, all the time. So now you really need to understand, not in detail, not word by word, but line by line. You have to understand this, okay? Because I'm going to teach line by line. So thus have I have at one time. It tells us that this is the teaching that is authentic, and it was directly from the Buddha by his sort of personal attendant Ananda. Okay, the Ananda is traditionally regarded as the collector of the sutras. One of his really good student, Buddha's Ananda. And he heard and understood the whole teaching on the perfection of wisdom in very short time. That's why, thus have I heard it one time. One time means very short time. And because he has great wisdom and intelligent person, so he understood, this perfection of wisdom sutra at very short time. That's how we start. And the next line of the sutra is the Bhagavan dwelt. So some English translation of the text refers to the Buddha as a Lord, However, the original Sanskrit of this word is Bhagavan, okay, Bhagavan, which we use in our translation, right? Bhagavan dwelt. But it is more profound in the Tibetan language. We say Jom Dan. Okay, Bhagavan is in Tibet, Jom Dan. Word Jom means to destroy. Okay, to destroy. And it is saying that Buddha has destroyed all of his obstacles, afflictions, and defilements. That's why Jom. And Dan means he possesses excellent qualities and realization, his realization, the perfect wisdom and great, the knowledge. So that's he done, he possessed. Dan means possess. And then that is the meaning of Bhagavan in Tibet, or Jom Dan. Also sometimes we call Jom Dan Di. Di means he has gone beyond. Di, or translate translate go beyond. So Bhagavan means Jom Dan Di, to destroy. He destroy all his defilements and possess his good qualities, great wisdom. Okay, and then also in the Rajagriha is the famous city, a very famous city of King Bambisara in India, and was visited frequently by the Buddha. So Rajagriha is Sanskrit word for residence, actually residence of the king of India. And one time the king's the palace was destroyed by fire, so he rebuilt his palace and became known as Rajagriha. So the house of the king, Rajagriha. And then we have at Virtue Big Mountain. This is the place, this is the location, right? So there are some sort of different explanation about the name of Virtue's Peak. Some people thought that the shape of the rocks at the place looked like a flock of virtues, bunch of virtues. It looks like the place, the shape. That's why they called Virtue Big Mountain. One time, I think the fifth Dalai Lama went to there, Virtue Big Mountain, And he saw this mountain, actually in his biography, and talk about this. So, fifth Dalai Lama, he saw this mountain was a sort of a volume of sort of scripture or Buddhist text. Just he didn't see, just a mountain. He saw, this very. This location is the mountain is like a books or text. So he said that all these people the on pilgrimage, they went to the top of the mountain and they sort of sit there and play or you call they meditate on there. But the fifth Dalai Lama couldn't go because he didn't see it was a mountain, He saw it was like a Buddhist text. So he didn't then he didn't go because he did some prayers, the bottom of the, mountain. And he couldn't go because he can't jump, he can't jump on the text because, it's funny, Tibetans think that if you jump on your books or Tibetan text, it is sort of unrespect, unrespect because Tibetans think that, the Buddha's teaching, right? These books and text is Buddha's teaching, and it's kind of represent the Buddha. You have to respect that because in Tibetan we think, very important the text and books because how we learning from the books and we meditate all these good things from the books text. So you can't jump on, you can put on the ground or that's kind of unrespect Buddha Dharma. So that's why fifth Dalai Lama can't go because he saw this mountain was like a Buddhist text, the volume of all the Buddha's teaching. So he just couldn't go, so that's why he saw that this is a very perfect location. I mean and then others they say that when Shakyamuni Buddha was teaching the Paranjana Paramita Sutra, the great bodhisattvas took the form of virtues, and when they came to receive the teachings. So that's why they call the virtue big mountain. I don't know, but I think it looks like the mountains, the shape looks like really Buddhist text. So I think that's why they called virtue big mountain. The not text. It looks like the virtues, the rocks, lots of rocks on the mountain. So it's like a virtue. So that's why they said that virtue big mountain. And then together with a great Sangha of fully ordained monks and the great Sangha of bodhisattvas. Are you with me? Okay, good. So together with a great Sangha, this is the perfect audience, perfect students. So perfect audience is the great Sangha of monks and the great Sangha of bodhisattvas. So the gathering of monks is called the Sangha, right? The Tibetan translation is Sangha is Genden. Sangha is very important, one of the three jewels, right? So the Sangha or community, right? So Genden, which means assembly here, and is often translated as the spiritual community, Sangha, or harmonious Dharma practitioner community. That's what we call Sangha. But it literally means aspirants to virtue, because you come together and then meditate together, compassion, love and kindness, non-violence, emptiness, all this you practice together. That's why you aspirants to virtue, So that's what we call the community, Dharma practitioner or Sangha. And generally there are two different Sanghas. Mahayana Sangha, which is the great vehicle practitioners, and then Hinayana Sangha, the fundamental Sangha. So the Sangha is people who study the Buddha's teachings and help each other with their capacity and also their experience and their practice as they journey on the path to enlightenment. Okay, so that's why we call it great Sangha. And there also a great Sangha of the Bodhisattvas, right? The Sanskrit word Bodhisattva come from two words, okay? Bodhi and Sattva. Bodhi means being awake, and Sattva means living being, a living being. Or Bodhisattva means an awakened being, or someone who intention is to become enlightened. So the Tibetan translation of Bodhisattva is Xiang Chip Sempa. So Xiang Chip means enlightenment or liberation. Enlightenment, you know, right? Someone who completely diminish all these negative emotions. That's what we call getting enlightenment. Enlightenment is who has no negative emotions. Attachment, anger, ignorance, jealous, all this, everything's diminished. We call it enlightened being. So that the Xiang means actually diminish. Xiang Chip Sempa. Xiang means, you know, translate. Xiang means, you know, diminish all this, you know, negativities and to be sort of purified, you know. And Chip means have attained all the great accomplishments. And Xiang Chip Sempa, Bodhisattva, Sanskrit, you should understand this. Bodhisattva is in Sanskrit term. Tibet, Xiang Chip Sempa. Xiang means, this is a great meaning, you know. Xiang means eliminate all your negative emotions. Chip means you possess that qualities or great accomplishment. And then Xiang Chip Sem means mind, okay, mind or intention. And the Xiang Chip Sempa means strength or courage. So one who is courageous in his or her intention to achieve liberation, enlightenment, is a bodhisattva. So here says the great Sangha, right? Bodhisattva, monks and bodhisattvas. Understand? Okay. And the next line of the sutra is, as the Banga one settled into an absorption on the categories of phenomena called elimination of the profound. This sentence is about the audience. They were ready to hear the teachings about emptiness, about the Heart Sutra. And also Buddha was in meditative equipoise and will sort of inspire Sariputta and Avalokiteshvaraya. Okay? And the Buddha enters at the opening of the Heart Sutra is called the elimination of the profound, or we call it sometimes profound appearance. Okay? So this is we call Tengenzen in Tibet, Sanskrit samadhi, right? The word profound samadhi means here is the union of emptiness and appearances is profound. That's why when Buddha was there, Avalokiteshvara was there, Sariputta was there, right? At this time. So Buddha just when he entered, you know, meditate. We call it profound, the union of emptiness and appearances. That's why illumination of the profound. His meditation, his samadhi is profound because through this meditation we realize the nature of mind, nature of everything. Okay, so elimination here, elimination of profound refers to the perfection of wisdom. Okay, the perfection of wisdom is a direct realization of emptiness, which is also called ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta. So this is not sort of direct realization of emptiness alone. Rather, it is this direct realization in union with, bodhicitta, which is the aspiration to become a Buddha in order to free all beings. So union of emptiness and appearance. Appearance here means to the way in which the object appears to direct perception with totally clarity and without obscuration. So this samadhi, this meditation is the wisdom that understands something as profound as emptiness. And it also has the meaning of light or illumination, because the samadhi called profound light completely dispels the darkness of ignorance. Okay? That's how this teaching is actually, Buddha was there because he didn't teach actually, when he was there, he just meditated. And then the Shariputta asked to the Avalokiteshvaraya, and then actually Avalokiteshvaraya teaches all this sutra about emptiness. Understand? The Buddha was there, so that's how we start teaching the Heart Sutra. Now here, I think we should meditate a little bit, because Buddha did, Buddha did when he sort of teaching, opening the Heart Sutra, he first called his meditation, you called illumination, profound of illumination, right? Illumination of. So which means the union of emptiness and appearance. Maybe you understand that too, So now I will let you practice. And this time I'm not going to teach you sort of different practice, okay? We should keep one practice. Today we have 4 sections, right? And 4 sections we have meditate. And meditation will be the same, okay? We need to focus on one object. And you should go deeper and try to find your nature mind if you can. If you cannot, don't worry at all. So this I called breath practice in 3 stages, okay? We are going to practice this 2 days. Breath practice in 3 stages. Which means, most of you know, breathe in and breathe out and then pause between these 2. That's what we call 3 stages, practice on breath. Because I like this meditation a lot, because meditate with breath is very essential, because sort of through that we can, release all physical and our mental sufferings. And also it is very good method for achieving peace of mind. If you focus on breath, peace of mind is very important. That's the foundation of all meditations, First you have to, your mind really relax and peace. And then you can build other meditation. But that's why peace of mind is very important. So working with the breath gives us, the opportunity to find peace and also the happiness, So if you really focus on your breath, it happens only in, present moment, this moment, That's what we call practice mindfulness or peace, So meditate with breath is really, I think, unique opportunity for sort of, healing, because the breath is something that we actually with us all the time, all the time, every moment, right? If we recognize it, and if we practice on breath. So that's why very important to practice your breath. You don't have to visualize this, the peaceful and wrathful deities, and you don't have to do anything that. Just focus on breath and then relax, So I will teach you how to meditate on that. So the first, you relax your body and your mind. Always very good. That's very good method. And when you breathe in very gently, and then pause your breath below the area of the navel, and relax on that. And then when the breath remains in the body, and focus on that, and also let your breath sort of dissolve into your mind, which means you should look deeply into your nature, okay? Which means do not follow your thoughts of past and future, all that. You just remain in the present moment and just let go everything. Let go everything, and then slowly sort of allow yourself to enter more deeply into quiet and calm, and just let it be an awareness. And of course, when the mind does get sort of distracted, then gently your mind bring it back, to the object and leave it there. And very important, you should be aware of the gap between breathe in and out, and between this breathe in and out, you will experience the inner, calmness, the peacefulness, and then relax in that space. It's a very nice meditation. This is very easy, simple, but it's very profound, because if you are a beginner, I always say this just to let you know, if you are a beginner with this meditation, just I told you, you will experience the wonderful, very nice, the peacefulness, the calm, relax. If you're a beginner, you will experience that. And if you are not beginner, you are sort of, advanced practitioner, then with this meditation, you will experience the little bit also the, awareness, and of course the experience the, peaceful and also awareness, with, sometimes you go really deeper and you will see your, the ground consciousness, and with little bit awareness, if you are advanced practitioner. And if you are more sort of, high level sort of practitioner, then with this kind of meditation, you will experience completely the nature mind, the ultimate bodhicitta, the ultimate the realization. Okay, you will understand the union of the emptiness and appearances. So if you high level practitioner, when you meditate like this, it's really nice. That's why I like this. There's many levels you can experience. So it's very simple. You just focus on your breath, breathe very gently, and then just hold and pause, right? And then just relax in that, and you just also at this time, when you pause your breath, you don't have to focus on your breath. You at this time you just let go everything, and you should go deeper, and you should find the nature of your mind, if you can. Just breathe in and then just relax, and you don't have to visualize nothing, everything, just to relax and understand? Yeah, you will. So that's why this is right nice. So when you relax, inner peace, and then your thoughts arises, of course, and then breathe out. Okay, breathe out simply and concentrate on your breath, and then three stages breath, but the most important is the pause. You hold. Actually, I say this is kind of when I explain you hold your pause, but actually you don't need to hold. You just let go your breath, and you don't have to focus on your breath. Rather than you focus on your nature mind or something. So that's the most important. Okay, so there are actually sort of three steps. Okay, first you breathe out, right? And then pause your breath, understand the emptiness, the nature of all phenomena, nature of your mind, and then breathe in, right? So three sort of steps, breathe in, breathe out, pause, three steps. And it's very simple. Understand? Any question? No? Okay, let's do. Few minutes. Yeah, good. And you just relax and both your mind, body, and when you meditate on that, if your body uncomfortable, and you can take a break, very quietly, and then you change your position if you want, and then go back to your meditate again. So you can do this like short time and many short time, and frequently, and then do that many times. Okay, even though this is we'll meditate maybe probably 20 minutes, but maybe you can you need change your body posture, and bring your mind wander away. You need to bring it back many times like that. So you can focus 20 minutes on your nature mind, but that's just fine. So just to relax in 1 second, just to relax and correct your motivation, and then deep, if it's kind of your thoughts, lots of thoughts in your head, then sometimes it helps breathe, deep breathe, deep, and breathe very deeply a few times. That makes you really calm.